minutes each of you, and then we can have a question and answer session.
So,
Yeah, we are going to do that.
hello friends and respected people in the community. Today we will be discussing new age seafood technology and how we can check our consumer behaviors. As Mr. Vishal has presented so beautifully, what all measures we can take for consumer behavior in this technological era. I would like to introduce the panels again one more time. We have Mr. Vishal as Vice President of Captain Fresh, Mr. Aniruddha Basu from Fresh to Home. He's heading Northern Division Business. He's business head for Northern India for Fresh to Home. Chef Shailendra Singh. He's the driving force behind Shrimp Retail Conference. Right, thanks. So I would like to start with Mr. Aniruddha Basu. Mr. Basu, the consumer feedback. How do you leverage digital tools like AI or analysis to understand consumer behavior, and how do you improve your offerings for them?
So like we touched upon on multiple topics, consumer behavior has become quite dynamic. So the urban youth's consumer behavior, obviously, jo dikhta hai wo bikhta hai. Vishal just touched upon that. So whatever is shown to them on primary or secondary data, that is Facebook, Instagram, ATL, BTL as well, their consumption behavior, now everything is tracked, right? Anybody using a mobile device, anything you click on Facebook, Insta, any app that you use, your buying pattern, your buying trends, your frequency, what mobile device you're using, the price of the phone, which part of the country or the city you are in, your ordering pattern. So all that information is available. Now, we start personalizing that information. Now, if we understand that, it's a very basic example. If we understand somebody is leaving location X, which is an office dense area, booking a cab to go somewhere, assuming home, we can communicate that why go home and cook? We can send you something ready or pre-cooked. We are trying to make their life easier. Now, the more a consumer engages, the more personalized they become. An organization which has done exceptionally well at this, I believe, is Zomato in the last few years. They have added a personal touch to understand the consumer requirement and communicating at the right time. Over communication is a kill. Consumers get irritated, they block you, they deactivate you. But any communication which becomes a convenience is extremely powerful. We use these information which are available if they have our app installed. We try to process into an algorithm of what if somebody is ordering on Saturday. It's unlikely that they will order on Sunday. So skip that day. Let them have some time off. Now, if we have a frequency of 2 orders per week, if an order has come on Saturday, we touch base again on Wednesday. We spoke about freshwater and marine fish a while back. A non-vegetarian's food plate can constitute poultry, goat or lamb, fish, ready-to-cook products, shrimp, so on and so forth. We also try to educate about the products which they might not be aware about. Somebody consuming poultry alone. North India as an example, people do not like bones in fish. They like boneless cuts more. Their ordering pattern will also have higher percentage of chicken breast fillet and tikka and other cuts. So we would divert into, say, if shrimps, prawns becoming PD, peeled and deveined, easy to cook. So all these information makes a customer's learning experience easier. Once the learning happens, the awareness is there. So I think somebody in their presentation was talking about the 4 A's. In an organization in the digital age, we talk about the IDA model. So IDA being awareness, interest, desire, and action. So if we can create the awareness, then we create the interest. Videos, content, that interest, the desire to be a part of it, consume it, and the action is obviously trying it out and then becoming a partner in the journey. So yeah.
Yeah, very insightful. Thank you. Mr. Vishal, you have actually given us such a deep insight. I want to highlight few points on supply chain optimization. How does your B2B model leverage technology to address inefficiencies in the seafood supply chain?
See, on our tech products, obviously, since we are a global company today and most of our downstream acquisitions are in US and Europe, we have been focusing on processing units, giving transparency in processing units and consignment models, right? So recently we have built a consignment model on our platform that I was presenting called FAS, Factory as a Service, where a customer in US or Europe is able to know when their shipments are reaching, right? While we are also working on something where a customer can also know what is happening in the factory, how their products are treated. So as I said, whenever our retailers here in the country are ready, those models will already be there. So what we are building today for global, I'm sure when the country is ready for that, when the retail ecosystem is ready for that, that will be made available for them.
Yeah, that will be very interesting and I guess very helpful to the country over here. The major challenge we face over here is how the seafood is being brought to my table currently, whether it is to have a proper cold chain present behind the pack or not. That will be really interesting.
Yeah.
Chef Shailendra, I would like to know, catering to professionals, how does the digital technology help you to cater to specific needs of chef and HoReCa professionals in terms of quality, delivery, and consistency?
Thank you. So, my name is Shailendra Singh, and I welcome you all once again. Thank you for calling me and talking all about. I've been working in this industry for almost 22 years, and a month back, Pradhanji called me up and says, "Chef, I'm doing a retail shrimps presentation. Will you want to be a part of it?" I was scratching my head. Believe me, I'm scratching my head. I've been in industry for 22 years, heard of eggs, chickens, lambs, international products, but nobody has talked till now for the shrimps. So thank you, Pradhanji, for calling me and speaking all about. Yes, when we talk about the specific needs of specific members, family members, guests, and everyone, we become more personalized to the particular person of delivering what they actually want. Shrimps, seafood is very delicate, hard to get in north part of India, but very readily available towards coastal side. So this is one of the basic reasons why north is still not have that much of leverage of eating shrimps in the market or getting from any place here and there. Few of our colleagues were talking about some places where hygiene and there is a concern. Yes, there is a concern, but government is working on together on it. When we, as a chef, comes any product in our hotels, we become 200% spick and span with a lot of quality deliverables by keeping every inch and every minute detail what need to be served to our guest. In this era of millennials and Gen Zs, hard, really very hard to cook one meal for a table of 4 because every palate has 4 different tastes. And all because of you people who's sitting in the hall, farmers, cold chain supply persons who's delivering such a beautiful product which half of the India doesn't know what actually it is. So delivering to a particular needs, it's become more skilled for us, and delivering particular thing to a particular age group become more easy when we have AI, data, and everything together. Thank you. I hope I have answered the question right.
Yeah. So practically the digital technology has helped you the procurement of shrimp little easier, a high quality shrimp little easier, unlike the case of say chicken or mutton, which is available in northern part of the India.
Yes, please.
Easier.
Yes, please. I'll take an example. Few years back, I was a junior level chef in one of the hotel. When I have to get shrimps or more than 10 kg, we have to call Vizag. Sure. We have a Sunday brunch, which is nobody's planning. We are planning only because of the shrimps. And can you deliver us? Believe me, package comes from Vizag by flight to airport and it will deliver by 10 o'clock in the Sunday morning. And we chefs has to deliver within our time to a particular guest. And believe me, that hotel still talks about that products. Still.
It's interesting. It is seriously. You have actually digital technology has
Yes.
made your life a little
Yes.
easier, a lot more easier, I would
Yes,
say,
yes.
not little. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks. Mr. Basu, I would like to know about the expansion. As a direct-to-customer brand, as Fresh to Home, what challenges have you faced in scaling your model across different regions while maintaining the product quality?
Being a digital direct-to-consumer brand, any expansion has a lot of fixed cost for us, capex. So we have to set up our factories, our dark stores. So we operate as a mother and child model. Factories become the mother, the dark stores become the child. We procure from multiple sources. So the fish can come from Andhra, Kerala, West Bengal, Andaman, so on and so forth. But the processing happens at our end. The processing has to be in a vicinity of at max 100 kilometers. Why? As an organization, we are still not doing frozen. We are doing fresh products only. So we are trying to do within 24 hours of sourcing, delivery to the consumers. Most of our products are airlifted. It comes to a processing unit. It is packed, processed, and then delivered to consumers. The capex heavy investment means we still want to be affordable to consumers. No, a prohibitive pricing will not, like I spoke about the IDA model. I cannot create interest if the pricing is not in favor of them. Now, when we put a high capex model like a factory, so like we require a lot of cold storage. So cold, we do not use -18. So we use ice, 0 to 4 degrees only. So capex is a barrier to expand, but across the country now, we are at about 180 cities. We operate about 16 large to medium-sized factories, 12 large factories and 4 smaller factories. In the northern belt itself, we have a unit in Delhi, we have a unit in Lucknow, we have a unit in Jaipur. So Delhi NCR is taken care by the Noida plant. Lucknow takes care of Lucknow, Kanpur, Agra, that belt, whereas Jaipur takes care of Sonipat, Panipat, Jaipur, and the vicinity areas. We would like to be in the rural market as well. The digital penetration is there, the tech awareness is there. The trust is still not there, unfortunately. So what do I mean by that? When people see fish or any meat products being sold online, the first assumption is that it is frozen or old or XYZ. Traditionally, as an industry, we have seen at retail stores month-end offers. You go buy something, buy 4 kg of this and get 1 kg atta free, or something. 20 grams free on biscuit products. F&M, fish and meat, has never worked in that model. So when they see an online brand saying, buy X and get 10% off, the basic assumption is that there's something wrong with the product. It's a liquidation drive. We don't know how they are being handled. So 2 things combined. One is entry-level capex is very high. Licensings are a challenge. So we have to work very closely with government, especially fish. Poultry is not that big a barrier, but fish obviously consumes a lot of water. And a lot of wastewater will also be emitted for the offals, the heads, the internal parts. So we have to set up units which are outside the city premises, industrial land. That increases our transportation costs. So cost and awareness to build trust. These are the 3 parameters which are our hindrance. But yes, we ensure that that 100-kilometer radius is kept. Our vehicles are cold chain enabled. Our riders have insulated bags. We ensure the delivery happens from a child hub to the doorstep in less than 90 minutes. So the cold chain and the quality is taken care in that aspect.
Right. 180 cities, that's quite a number. Wow.
In India, we were actually at one point at about 220.
Oh.
But because of economies of scale or penetration, we have curtailed down to 180 right now. So today it will be about 180 cities.
Right. Apart from trust, what I have seen is like few of my friends, they are purely non-vegetarians. Matlab they need in every meal. So they have Sunday ritual as that, ki the husband will go shop for the weekly produce of fish, especially the fish, Bengalis especially. So they have that habitual thing in their family which is coming down from generations, which they don't want to break with the new age technologies as well. This is the issue which we need to address.
In a way, he addressed this. So he was very pinpointed by saying, "Jo dikta hai, wo bikta hai." Even though the market is unorganized, 99% of the F&M industry is wet market. If people see a fish being cut in front of them, the assumption is that it is fresh. Right. Now, we are giving you an app which says it is fresh, but you don't know where it is coming from, when it is coming. We give traceability, but traceability from factory to your doorstep. It is extremely difficult for even us as an organization to give you traceability of when was this fish caught in Andaman at what point of time, or when was this fish caught in the Kerala coast, XYZ. But consumers, when they go into the wet market, they see something in front of them. The belief, the trust is higher that, you know, we are getting fresh products. You cited Bengal, right? So I am Bengali. People want live fish. What is live fish? They want to go and see the fish swimming around in the water. And then they cut it. So it is assured that the fish was alive before being bought. Does it necessarily make the fresh fisher? In some ways, yes. We cannot deny that. In our model, can we get fresh fish at our factory? Most of the fish that comes in would be in fresh state. Only the local produce where there are ponds and farms over here. So we can't airlift things or send it via any other medium which reaches fresh. So consumers will evolve. Absolutely, convenience will capture the urban youth. Again, it was well pointed out that people do not have time, they want convenience. A certain percentage of the market will find that attractive and move that in that direction. But there will exist a very large portion who want to go and see what is fresh, then purchase it. And it's absolutely up to us how we educate over and over and over again that we are as fresh as that you see outside. We are just more hygienic. We are taking more quality standards. We are not touching the fresh fish with our raw hands. Those parameters eventually will have to be the differentiator.
Right, right. People need to understand and they need to appreciate that efforts. Right. Mr. Vishal, I would like to know about the marketplace evolution. What unique digital innovations have you introduced to connect suppliers with buyers more effectively? I believe you're a fast model which you have.
Yeah. So, see, as a DNA, we have always believed in doing, learning, and building, right? So we always believe in failing early, and we don't shy away from backing out, right? So we enter into a market, we don't see things working, we don't shy away from backing out. We enter into a market, we fail, we are okay with failing, right? And we learn by experience, right? So we don't want to learn from Google, right? So we put a team, we go, we do everything, we get our hands dirty, we learn. So that's the DNA that we carry, and that's how we are approaching the marketplace side as well, right? So that's why we started from upstream, right? So we are building everything in upstream, like Fishgram, Aqua. Today helps farmer to log his feed management, which tells him what is the FCR, right? Whether he is in the right FCR. FCR is feed conversion ratio for farmer, right? Then it also helps him to understand. So we are collaborating with companies which can allow a farmer to know what is his biomass, right? We are trying to bring a technology into the country which can tell farmers. See, today there are no technologies which can tell farmer what is the inventory available inside the pond, right? So we are working on that technology. And then we are also working on a check tray imaging, right? Where a farmer takes an image on his sampling every week, a check tray image, and it tells him the size of the shrimp that is available in the pond, right? We are also working on a imaging solutions which can also tell farmer the diseases, right? Because today a farmer through his naked eye understands. By seeing the gut of the shrimp, he understands what is the disease. So now why I'm just taking like few minutes to explain what you had asked for is, such kind of technologies will help you build transparency in the marketplace, right? So obviously there are our fellow people from the industry like Fresh2M and Licious who are consumer facing, while we are not consumer facing, we are a retailer facing or a B2B place. But what we believe is, we believe in strengthening or empowering these consumer facing companies by giving them such technologies. So we are majorly focused on upstream and midstream. Midstream obviously, fast is something like we are 30–40% there, where today we are into productions, we understand the yields, right? We understand when did the shrimp enter into factory. So now the larger vision is the fish gram, aqua and FAS will get married to each other. So from the farm, if tomorrow a consumer wants to know when was this shrimp harvested, when did it enter into factory, when did it get produced, and when it entered into retailer. So that's what we are trying to build. While Fresh2Homes of the world, Licious of the world, and obviously our offline retailers of the world are trying to build traceability from the store to the consumer's doorstep, we are trying to work on the backwards.
Backward, from farm till the fresh to home doorstep.
Correct.
Practically.
Yeah.
It's good. If we combine, merge those two traceability, then from sea to fork, practically,
Yeah.
we can have the back of the mind consumer satisfaction.
Yes.
Chef, I would like to understand on the recipe innovations. How are you blending digital tools with culinary creativity to revolutionize how seafood is presented or served in Horeca space?
See, now the world is almost digital and everyone uses AI, everyone has a phone in their hands who tells everything, what they want, how they want. Every individual is studying about what he is eating. When we say about digital use in recipes, now every hotel has a menu which says this much of particular grams of particular product, has a calorie count in it. Government of India has started mandates for hotels that if these things are not there in the menus, the hotel might have a legal issues. This is one which is very important. 80–85% people who goes for the gym, they want a product which says everything to them. Whether they are using normal recipe or mother's recipe or any product which is coming and consuming. So using these technologies are more helpful towards easing out to the customers who's consuming these products.
Thank you. So practically, the creative use of data.
Yes, data also, and it says lot of informations which we as a hospitality industry always have, that this age group of people prefer to have these products very well. The days are passé when everybody wants to eat a spicy food or lot of masalas to it. Now young generation says, please give me actual taste of the product rather than any masalas to it. We as a chef, we understand basic needs and requirement of the industry. Time to time get changed with the help of these technologies.
Great, great. That's true. Actually, yes, the younger generation wants to have the flavor of the product now. Wow. Mr. Vishal, you have already told us the transparency, but the technology which is being used behind this transparency, how authentic is that? Like, how do you ensure the technology in your operations, particularly when dealing with bulk orders for business?
Can you please elaborate when you say authenticity of the technology? What do you mean by that?
As in the model is fast, supposingly it is working perfectly fine till your X point of delivery. At some point of time it crashes down or it has some issues which comes up. So the backing up of that model.
Yeah, I get what you're asking. Okay. See, one is we have an in-house tech team, right? So we are based out of Bangalore. We have a technology team which is 50, 60 guys. So we have a CTO who heads our tech. And second is we are not only relying on a software, we are also building certain automations, right? So we are working on OCR technology where through cameras, like for an example, if a factory has a soaking, right? So we are working on cameras which can literally come back and tell us, give us data points that for how many minutes it was soaked, right? Let us say for a phosphate is expected to be soaked for 60 minutes and 60-minute resting time, right? So it's around 2 hours of process. We will literally know whether the 2-hour process is followed or not. And then we are working on technologies which can, cameras which can go and sit on IQF's in-feed table where, see today I think shrimp industry works on quantity economics. We are trying to build technologies which can help shrimp industry to operate on unit economics, right? Rather than saying per kg मेरा कितना cost पड़ा और मैंने कितना profit बनाया, we are saying per piece आपका कितना cost पड़ा और आपने कितना profit बनाया. So now we are relying on multiple arms which will ensure that the consumer or the retailers can rely on our technology, right? And I think maybe in next couple of years, we will reach a stage where manual intervention on our platforms will be lesser, right? We are working on automated data points where a manual intervention might not be higher than 10 to 15%, right? So today manual intervention is around 40%. When I say manual intervention, the data are fed by teams in certain layers because it is needed. But soon we will get into a place where everything would be automated, like from the weighing. So from the shrimp weighed when it is coming into the factory till it goes and sits into the storage, everything would be automated. So a 15% reliance. So that I think can ensure the authentication. Like our customers, if they ask for that, that can ensure that they can rely on our technology.
Lastly, in your presentation, you have told in one of the slides, like for the fresh, when 3 hours it takes to analyze the data of a shrimp which is being there in the pond, 3 days, sorry. But using AI and ML, you can generate the data immediately. You don't have to wait for 3 to get the report, 3 days to get the report. Can you elaborate a bit on that?
Yeah, see, obviously my people here from the manufacturing industries might agree to my point. See, this January is when I started visiting factories. So I have been sitting in factories for 15, 20 days. I have been on floor, right? What I have seen is people manufacture, they enter everything in pen and paper. It takes 3-4 days for it to get converted into Excel sheets, right? So very few factories have implemented ERPs, but even then all the manufacturing details has to go and sit on ERPs, and then it goes to the top management or the owner, right? That is when he reviews. So we believe it is dissection today, it's a postmortem today. So the owner doesn't have an opportunity to go back and influence his numbers or his metrics. What we are saying is when you start giving data points in real time, right? Let us say if I get a 60 count shrimp inside the factory and the expected yield, headless yield for 60 count is around 66 to 67%. If I get this data after 3 days, it doesn't help me. If I'm getting this data then and there, live, real time, I can still influence, right? So the technology that we are building is more in favor of factories, right? How they can control their manufacturing system. So it is going to be real time, and AI and ML would come later. The more and more data comes into the system, I think we are 1 year away where then AI and ML will kick in.
Right. That's all from my end. In case anyone of the audience wants to.
Hello. I'm Sanket Gupta. I represent United Industries. I want to ask from Mr. Vishal from Captain Fresh. Sir, very well said. We are into the HoReCa segment and we are present in all of the major metros. My question and concern is basically we are into the frozen seafood, not the fresh ones. How do we see the HoReCa segment in another next 5 to 10 years, as in for fresh or frozen? The first thing is, because your company is dealing into US markets also and the Europe markets also. As per best of my knowledge, many of the hotels have already banned the fresh seafood in US and Europe just due to the contamination factor. And this thing is not happening in India. We both, me and my sister Shipra, who is sitting on the panel, we both have written a book also on that chapter, and I have some discussion with the FSSAI people also, that practically 99% of the hotels, they are preferring fresh, but in the regions like Delhi or the northern India, we don't have fresh. It is actually acclaimed to be a fresh, but it is not a fresh product. So my concern is the frozen is much more better than fresh, and we are successfully converting many of our clients. But some of the chefs, some of the hotel properties, they are concerned about the product quality for the frozen ones, which I guess it is a myth. या जैसा आपने बताया कि जो दिखता है वो बिकता है, बहुत सालों से जो एक पैटर्न चलता आ रहा है कि फ्रेश सी फूड होना चाहिए. And since last 10 years, this seafood industry has changed in a dramatic way. If we say for the funding, we say many of the young people are coming into the industry. So where do we land up in next 5 to 10 years? Which will be the better ones, the fresh ones or the frozen ones? Because we are dealing in India only. You are present in US and Europe, and I guess you also have a clientele for the frozen segment as well. So this is the question.
Yeah, thank you. See, we in India we do around $500,000 a month Horeca, right? So we have a team, ex-Metro team, which heads our Horeca business in the country. Coming to your question, see, the frozen is something that, as I said, we need government help, right, in terms of government help, and obviously we all should collaborate in educating the consumer, right, that which is good, frozen or fresh. But internally, since I was heading domestic business for India, and this is something that I was talking to my team every day, day in and day out, perishable goods, especially seafood, right, fish is a time bomb. It's a ticking time bomb. So I would say, evening when fish enters, I would say fish passes through 5 stages: diamond, gold, silver, bronze, and then junk. Right? शाम को आता है 12 बजे 10 बजे आप रिसीव करते हो, डायमंड है. अगर आपने तब बेच दिया, डिलीवर कर दिया, it is good for someone to consume. Then it is gold. Then it follows on. So that's the see, that's how the product behaves in the value chain, right? So we will have to accept. So I believe the transition from fresh to frozen is inevitable. It is going to happen. Now, how fast is something that I think industry will have to see. How do we educate our consumers, right? It depends on that. Like, obviously the responsibility is on shoulders of retailers and Horeca segments, right? So let us say in a hotel today, most of the fish that is sold is Basa, right? I think highest consumption in Horeca is Basa today, right? And Basa is frozen. Basa frozen fillet ही मिलता है सारे hotels में. So the more and more consumers are getting, so आज मेनू में हम बस बता देते हैं कि sear fish available है, Basa available है, but there is no other details. So if there are QR codes on menu where a consumer can scan and check, right, ये क्या fish है, कहाँ से बना है, कहाँ से आया है. So धीरे धीरे करके step by step we will have to educate and then see that how this transition would happen.
Sir, but you have been into the wet markets a lot, and according to my experience, कोई यहाँ पे दिल्ली में अगर गाजीपुर में एक बारी देख लेगा कि fish कैसे processing हो रही है, definitely he will leave eating any of the seafood. And
I have spent a lot of time in Gazipur.
And fresh to home, Licious, the companies like these, they have done a dramatically change. I have seen their factories also, and they are doing a very pretty job. So their product is really recommendable. That the fresh product, actually it's very good. But now the concern is for the Horeca segment. Horeca segment is not buying from fresh to home or Licious. They are completely dependent, especially in Delhi, the markets like this Gazipur and all. And as per my experience, this wet market, what they are doing is not as per the standards, because in US and Europe, hotels are following the standards, and they have already banned the fresh seafood.
No, I think we should not blame ourselves that that's not the standard, right? See, fortunately or unfortunately, this is the segment which has been serving the consumer seafood. आज अगर हम बोलते हैं कि $70 billion का मीट कंजम्पशन है कंट्री में, out of that seafood is around $40 billion. It would not have been for if it was not these guys, right? The consumption has been built by them. But see, the transition के लिए time लगता है, right? So that's change management is something that you should never get into. So what you're talking is a change management, consumer behavioral change. If you take ID Foods as an example, like I am a South Indian, hardcore idli eater. हमारे घर पे हफ्ते में 3 दिन इडली बनता है. I had never thought that idli batter could be sold, right? Today you see the way ID Foods has changed that market, right? Even my mom doesn't mind getting a idli batter, right? We have idli batter packets in our fridge. So the consumer facing companies will have to take those initiatives in educating, spending money, right? And then ensuring there has to be a lot of investments.
Even Fresh 2M is doing idli batter.
Yes.
Yeah.
So if you allow, I will try to answer you, sir.
Please, sir.
So the question what you are asking has answer in itself. When any shrimps or prawns come in the market, or it's a fresh, to give that self-life to it, we do glazings and seafood to be on frozen. Then we travel to whole around the world. But it's all myth in the mind that the frozen and fresh are two different things. If you take out the prawns, frozen prawns on a right time, put it on outside in a fridge or in a running water, believe me, you'll have almost 98% of taste. And
yes, sir. It is much more. It is actually fresher than fresh.
Yes.
What I say is frozen product especially in the seafood industry, frozen is much more fresher than fresh. And this line was given by Devanand sir only in the morning that what products you are dealing it, they are not frozen. They are fresher than fresh.
Yes.
Yeah, here. I was just listening to you guys, like basically regarding this fresh and frozen, frozen and fresh, fresh and chilled, chilled and fresh. See, basically I'm a fisheries graduate. I've spent my entire life in studying fish, then working in the fish industry since 33 years. And we are a processor, we have factories around, and factories where we are processing around 50 to 55 tons every day. See, why do we have to go for frozen? What is frozen? When we write in our packets, fresh and frozen, we never write frozen. We write fresh and frozen. When we harvest our shrimp, there is a procedure how we harvest. We go for chilled killing. We go for chilled killing. Why we go for chilled killing is, see, this is basically a spoilage process. This is a rigor mortis. This is a spoilage process. The moment the live organism dies, the spoilage portion starts immediately. But there is a time bound. So there is, of course, frozen, fresh and chilled, there is difference. But if it is frozen or it is chilled in a fresh condition, the taste retains. Lowering the temperature reduces the spoilage process. So let us not focus on what is frozen and fresh. Frozen is for like maintaining the shelf life for a long time. Icing for maintaining the shelf life maybe for 2 to 3 days. So let us not bother. Like if we are going to fridge it immediately after it is caught.